The first week of Advent, Thursday, December 5th, 2024, Jesus said, "Not everyone who says to me, 'Lord, Lord,' will enter the kingdom of heaven, but only the one who does the will of my Father in heaven." How about you take a moment to ask yourself these questions? How often have you professed the creed as in our faith belief and still turned around to act differently from the teachings of the church you just pledged or professed? How usually have you recited the Lord's Prayer and always find it difficult to forgive someone who offends you? We might as well ask ourselves, are the words that we say, or are they meant to transform our lives and conform our ways to the life of Christ? In today's Gospel, Jesus concludes his teaching on the Sermon on the Mount. Life has taught us that perception can be deceptive, that things are not what they appear, and that there is more to life than what it seems. The fact that someone is in and out of worship places does not necessarily indicate that a person is a holy person. Neither is someone taking the posture of prayer at all times qualifies the person as a prayer warrior. However, it matters to one's spiritual well-being because grace builds on nature. So Jesus in the Gospel speaks about a meaningful relationship with God. In our life encounters, we have been in a relationship that one can say they are my friends. And we have our reasons for such assumptions because one believes the other knows them well enough to predict most of their actions. If not all the time, but at least on most occasions. They both know each other pretty well, and we can all relate when the opposite is the case. The frustration of knowing or the realization that it is one-sided and not mutual. It takes two to tango. So in today's Gospel, Jesus cautions against paying lip service to his words when one says one thing while having other plans in mind and acting contrary to his terms. That is, one says one thing and does another thing altogether. It's common to profess one's faith in Christ and still hold on to other gods. Christ wants to become the solid rock in our lives amidst raging sea storms. To know Jesus, one has to invest oneself as you would in any meaningful relationship. And prayer is our gateway to a personal relationship with Christ. In prayer, one must have a personal connection, trusting in Him, believing in His words and His power to save, the Spirit of God. Our real test of faith is measured in times of adversity. It is by allowing the will of God to be done in our lives without us trying to force the hands of God in the direction we want to go. Virtuous acts towards others are the right way to be selfless. Doing good deeds is excellent for our spiritual attitudes. St. James once warned that faith without good work is dead. It's doomed to be of no good. On the other hand, works without faith in Christ are just like any other duty. Christ invites us to deepen our relationship with Him and allow ourselves to be an instrument in His hands concerning others. As the psalmist once said, "If the Lord does not build, in vain does the builders labor." If Christ is not at the center of our lives, it's hard to resist the storm in our lives. Our hold on Christ helps us withstand every trial that comes to us. One becomes like the builder on the solid rock and not on soil that cannot resist the wind's ferocity with its buffets. Have a blessed day.